It's been a while, hasn't it? I reached 300 subscribers back in freaking May. It's been 3 months. And you know what the worst part is? I just don't have an excuse. It's like, I reached 300 and it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I was in college, I was busy with schoolwork, busy with, like, lots of other things and yada yada. Excuses. But when I came back after the college semester ended, I was too freaking mentally tired to do anything that I literally had multiple instances of sitting down and playing Minecraft for 7 hours straight! This is what engineering does to a man! So, what now? I finally got the time and energy to do the 300-word thingy-mabob. If you don't know how it works, then watch the 2 other videos or listen to this short explanation. Essentially, the timer starts when I generate 2 random words from this random word generator. And then I just make a game out of those 2 words, or I keep generating words and wasting time to find 2 that I like and make a game out of those. Easy, simple, and done. The challenge began with me getting essentially traumatized by what I got. But after a little bit of re-rolling, I decided to stick with Murder Fossil. The idea was to make sort of a first-person shooter or whatnot, where you're some sort of fossil shooting up people, murdering, yay, yipper-doo. I don't know. They were the best 2 words, I didn't want to waste too much time, so I just went into it. I began with the first-person camera system. It was a little tricky at first, since I've never actually done a first-person camera system before, but eventually I did get it working, where, yeah, you have the X sensitivity, Y sensitivity, you can look directly up and directly downwards, because why don't games let you look directly up and down? It makes no freaking sense! But the camera system was done. The movement was next. I got a tiny bit too ambitious with the movement, however. I wanted to add acceleration and deceleration and add air advantage and just do all these things, essentially wasting time. I have the habit of thinking too big, and it ends up just wasting a lot of time. So after a bit of fooling around with it, I decided just to turn it down and just make it a simple, hey, you're pressing forward, your velocity has changed to the run velocity forward. Done. There isn't really any advantage to being in the air or not. However, it does allow for strafing. I purposely added strafing just to make it a little more interesting. So, after that, I worked on the jumping. At first, it was an impulse force. Like, you know, the usual, set an impulse force to go up. But I noticed that it was a little buggy, and I didn't really want to add this whole system to detect if you're on the ground or touching a wall or whatnot. So I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and make it so that the Y velocity is just changed whenever you're touching something. So that allows you to jump, and that also allows you to climb up walls, which is honestly pretty fun. So the movement was now done. On to the rest of the systems, especially the shooting. So I created a UI crosshair. Not that bad, not that really advanced or anything. It's literally just a dot and a little arrow or whatnot. But the crosshair was there just to allow you to actually aim and whatnot. I created the dummies, which just have health, and their health is displayed above their heads, and they're always facing the player or whatnot. So that just makes it so it's easier to see how much health each dummy has. I implemented the shooting, which is a simple just raycast. It can pierce through everything. I didn't care to add any of those advanced systems. It's just, hey, you're looking at something, you press the shoot button, it causes damage. Wow, incredible. But yeah. A little clip system was also added just to make it a little more interesting, where you had to constantly reload. So if you had only 8 bullets in your clip, and if you ran out, you just got to reload. Just making it a little more interesting and just making it so that, hey, you want to go fast, you got to reload strategically, yada, yada, yada. Just adding a little bit more interest into the shooting just to make it a little better. Essentially, after that, I added sliding, which was something I planned at the start, but I didn't add because I was worried about getting too ambitious. So I created a really simple slide. Essentially, you're just smaller, you go faster, but you're locked in the sort of direction that you're originally going in. Just a little more interesting and made it just a little more fun. I wanted to add some, enemy shooting, enemy AI, yada yada, but I don't have that much time. There's only 300 minutes. This has to be very minimalistic. Moved on then to a little scope system. That just makes it a little better and make it so that you can actually aim. Because when you're far away, you can't aim really well. So the scope just essentially just turns up the... No, sorry. Up or down? Turns down the FOV. I'm forgetting already. Turns down the FOV and sort of makes it so that your sensitivity is a lot less, so you can aim better and shoot enemies from far away. Easy, done. After that, timer and a win condition. Essentially, win condition is when all the humans are murdered or whatnot. Look, it's the best 2 words I could come up with. I know it's a little grim, but I mean, it's something, okay? They're just dummies. They're just capsules. I'm not trying to promote violence. Please don't hurt me. So, a test level was beginning to be made, but I decided to try to find a free city in the asset store. Unfortunately, though, I made a tiny little error when I was programming the restart sort of part of the script. This little thing right here, this missing if statement, would cost me the entire freaking thing. We'll get back to that later. So, I found a free city. I imported it, and it looked pretty good. I added some test dummies, but it just wouldn't work. Unknowing to me at the time, it was because it was constantly restarting the scene because I hadn't put one if statement. I thought it was just because the city was too chonky and my computer was lagging too much. So I found a different city. I imported that one, and once again, the same problem. I was running out of time, and I decided just to go back to the test sort of area I created, add a few more pillars, a few more dummies, and call it a day. And that's when I realized that it wasn't the cities lagging out the computer, but it was some other error. And guess what? The 300 minutes freaking passed! When I say these challenges destroy my sanity, I mean they destroy my sanity. So, overtime, I guess, huh? After 7 minutes of just sort of probing the system, trying to find what was wrong, I found the missing if statement.
Fudge! No. No freaking way that was it. No. Is it that? Was it that? One single... Oh my gosh. It was one single thing. It was one single thing. Wow. Alright, a new lesson learned today. One little thing can completely screw up your entire life. If I hadn't screwed up that one little line... Fudge! That's the successful build. For my own sanity, I am going to try out the city one. For my own sanity. Fudge! And I just want to see. if this would have worked. Would it have worked? Would I have been able to move around the city on my own like this? I would have been able to. Are you freaking serious right now? Oh my gosh.
If I hadn't screwed up that one tiny bit, would have the game been finished in 300 minutes? Yes, it would have. And I even tested it in the first imported city, and it worked perfectly. My sanity can't take this. So, did I succeed the challenge? Technically not. Would I have if I hadn't messed up that one line? Yes. Am I going to try this again? Heck no. Cry about it if you want. But I'm not doing this again until 400 minutes. Because the failure wasn't because of my overambition. It wasn't because of my planning. It was one stupid little error in one freaking if statement.